everybody. My name is Molly Whalen, and this is Joan Christopher, and we're going to do this in tandem. And the most important thing you need to know about the two of us is that we're parents of children, young adults, with disabilities. And Joan's going to start us.
Okay. So I want you to know we have 5 minutes, and Molly and I are both talkers when we get a microphone. So just for a show of hands, how many people are family members or parents of a person with intellectual developmental disabilities? Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to just be very short. I have 3 points I want to make for you, or to you. And this is not a point, years ago, I left my lights on my car and my battery was dead when I got off from work, and I was standing outside saying, oh my God, poor me. And another parent came and said, look, you have a daughter with a disability. Don't ever, ever be afraid to ask for help. And that has been my motto forever. So I want you to know that as parents and as people who care about a person with a developmental or intellectual disability, that we are the ones who have to really make it happen. Everybody else has caseloads and has lots of people that they're dealing with, but as our loved one needs help, we're the ones who have to really make it happen. My second point is that, and that sort of follows Emily's last talk, that we need to be able to identify our persons, and I'm going to say person because maybe it's a sibling or a child, our person's interests and goals and what they want out of life. Emily was talking about person-centered planning. I'm a big believer in that. There are also life course skills framework that will help us get there. And I'll just put a plug in. We also have courses for families on all of these topics. And so we can't do it in 2 minutes, but I urge you, if you're interested and you want to know how to hone in on your person's interest, to do that and to learn more. And then my third point is that we have to be able to recognize resources in our lives, not just what the government can do for us, but resources all around us. We have friends, families, churches, community, and we need to be able to put it on paper and then parlay it into employment that would be of interest to our loved one. So with that, I think I'm 2 minutes, and here's Molly.
And okay. Here I am. And one of the things I wanted to share with you all is this slide, is that we need to think about future and employment is about our dreams for our child or the person in our lives, for siblings, and planning for the future. Several years ago, when my oldest, who has autism, he's now 18, was about 12, I did a survey about things that he could do. Could he wake up by himself? Did he choose his own clothes? Did he get dressed? Does he make his own lunch? And I sat there in a room full of parents with a transition coordinator saying no, 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 and kind of thought, oh no. And I had a transition coordinator said, and you know what? Your son can do all these things. And I realized I was getting in his way. And sometimes as parents, we're so busy leading, we're not getting out of their way. So it's thinking about what those dreams are for our loved ones, and also making sure that we're planning for that, but also getting out of their way for that. I'm not going to read this out, but the family role, and this is to the agency people. Lots of times we always talk about family engagement, family involvement, but we as family members need to know what that looks like. So is it being at a meeting? What's an example? Give us some specific roles. You want us to research a couple of jobs, these types of things. Be really specific and set clear expectations for us. I also want to read this one out, and I put up the life course tools because I know Joan loves them. Students with parents who have high expectations were more likely to be engaged in post-school education and employment. That's from a national study. So we have to have high expectations, and we have to do what Joan said and ask for help. And what does it take? I'm not going to read all of these, but my favorite one is communication. To all of us, to back and forth, it's not what you say, it's what we hear. So as agency people saying, well, we told the family about these resources, but did they hear them? Did you help them get there? Did you set clear expectations? Did we have buy-in? We've got to have communication both ways because it's a journey. And if you've met me before, you know that I'm constantly plugging my children. As Joan said, it's we as parents, and we have to plug it. This is my son, and he created this. He's an artist. He taught himself to draw, And this was what his transition plan looked like. What his strengths are. And I want you to see if you can look real closely. He's listening to Beyonce on the radio. And he wrote her a fan letter the other day, and I really hope she's writing him back. But this was his transition plan. And one of the things I challenge is be unconventional to unleash your families. Think about what they have to work on. Think about what those students have. Be unconventional. Don't just give the same resource list.
Okay.
He told us to stop.
So we have to stop. It's blank. Okay, so we're going to stop. I just want to give a, what do they say, shout out to my daughter back there, Nikki, who is here and was the example of what I did in terms of seeing what her interest was and helping her develop her paper shredding business. So hi, Nikki. Hi, Adela, her helper. Hi. Okay, so I think we're supposed to give the...
Right. We're going to give you the instructions. So now we did that really, really fast. And if you want to meet us later, we can tell you more stories because we like to tell stories, Joan and I. But right now, get your Post-it notes out. And let's, on the piece of paper, it should be family involvement. I'm trying to remember what Unleashing the power of families. Thank you. What did anything we say maybe clicked with you, was an aha? Maybe something that you do right now to help families? If you're a family member, what you wish somebody could help you along the way? I think both Joan and I will say, and maybe other families in the room will say, that oftentimes we look back and we realize opportunities we missed and things that we wish we did. So maybe write that down. But this is all about like sharing your ideas.